Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially Season 4 day, which means the new update is out for Warzone, for Modern Warfare 2, for DMZ, and everything in between. And with update day, we get big patch notes, which we're going to be going over in this video. We're getting a new battle pass and a whole bunch of new content. So in this video, essentially what we're going to be doing is finally going over some patch notes that are actually making some pretty big changes to the game. We're going to be discussing everything that is changing and new within Season 4. Later today, we're going to be diving into the battle pass, talking about what's there, whether or not it's worth it, and everything in between. So that is what's going on between today's videos. And then throughout the rest of the week, we'll be covering the rest of the content, the story, the intricacies, all of that kind of stuff. But today is kind of like the broad picture, starting with this video, which is going to be going over everything that has changed, everything that is new within Season 4. So as per usual, they've released the patch notes a little bit early. So without further ado, let's dive into them. So here they are, the Season 4 patch notes. We're going to kind of go through section by section. This is coming out in an hour from now from when I'm recording. So pretty much right exactly when this video goes live. But we start off with the new operators. Of course, we have Nikto. He is the one that is returning from Modern Warfare 2019. His backstory is a former FSB deep cover agent, was first spotted in Modern Warfare 2019 using the menacing signature black mask to cover the disfigured face that was caused by Mr. Z. We're going to dive more into his backstory probably in the future days. The other operator we have is Ana Vega. She's the daughter of paramedics and army reservists, and she comes from Cuba. There's actually more to her backstory that is really cool as well that we will go over in the future as well. Then we have our new Black Cell character. This is IO. We're going to go over this character a little bit further on in the Battle Pass video coming out later today. After this, we have our new weapon. We have the Tempest Razorback. This one is a bullpup full auto assault rifle. As you can see here, it's unlocked in Sector D13 of the Battle Pass. We also have the ISO 45 unlocked in Sector D19. I will say, I believe those are further along than we have seen before, but we'll have to wait to see how the Battle Pass actually works out. And then we also have our melee weapon called the Tonfa coming out as well. As far as general changes, pellets now use damage priority. In other words, when you shoot a shotgun, when the pellets go off, they prioritize wherever the pellet did the most damage for the most amount of damage. So it should actually be a buff to shotguns. And then melees, the fist lunge range reduced, the gun butt range reduced, and the damage as well, but that's for Warzone only. Then we go into weapon balancing here, and the easiest way for me to do this is just go through weapon by weapon, and I will just essentially say whether it's a buff or a nerf and potentially why depending on the weapon. So first off, for the Cronin Squall in fully auto, bullets to kill increased by 2. In other words, this is a pretty major nerf. And then in semi-auto, it got nerfed as well. So for the Bryson 800, we have the minimum damage decreased. In other words, at long range, the amount of damage it will do is decreased. However, for the head, neck, upper torso, arm, and leg, the multipliers are increased. So overall, that's actually a buff. Same thing happened with the Bryson 890. The Expedite 12, same thing happened. However, only the leg multipliers were increased. The KV Broadside just all around got a nerf with a mid damage decrease. And the same thing happened with the Lockwood 300 as the other shotguns as well. Then we move into the submachine guns. So we have the Fennec, the bullets to kill decreased by 1. So that's a nerf. Then we have some new attachments. So for the FTAC Siege, you have a Kimbo. For the Kastoff 74U, you have the KSTV 17 barrel, which is actually replacing a tracer at level 9, so you should already have it unlocked. And then the Dragon's Breath for the KV Broadside actually got damage slightly increased. A bunch of bugs were changes. We're not going to go into too much depth with those. And then we have our new Assault on Vondel event. So this goes through July the 7th. And first of all, there's community challenge. So we've seen these before, like the entire community gets a certain amount of kills on the new map, things like that. But then there's also mastery challenges, which are individual challenges that are directly tied to a cosmetic reward while also contributing to the community challenge as well. The most efficient way to get all cosmetic rewards is to land on Vondel, but playing across the game is also supported. So you can do these in multiplayer and things like that, but it's easiest on Vondel. We'll probably have a video tomorrow going through the fastest way to actually earn these. Then of course we have the Battle Pass. I'm not going to go too much in depth because we have a second video coming out on that later today. As far as gameplay changes, first off, we have movement. The parachute weapon kick raise is now always used when cutting your parachute or landing for improved responsive on landing. So you should be able to use your weapon a little bit better. Adjustments, Bomb Squad now scales both explosive damage and clamps the maximum damage unless the damage was a direct impact. So it should work better unless you get hit directly with the explosive. A couple of adjustments to field upgrades and throwing stars, but nothing massive all around. As far as adjustments, almost all of these are UI changes and fixes to things that you'll see on screen. If you want to read through them, you can pause it here, but overall they're pretty boring. Same goes with global bug fixes. Again, a lot of these are for user interface and things like that. Again, not going to read through them. You can pause it here if you want to read. As far as co-op goes, they've added some adjustments to Intel, so they are more readily showing you what ones you have found, what ones you have not, which is a good thing. They probably should have done that at the beginning. And then there's just a bunch of bug fixes, things along those lines. Moving into multiplayer, first off, we have the Kustanar District, which is the first 6v6 map. This is taken directly from the museum in Vondel. We have Showdown. For some reason, the image is broken on this one, but this is, of course, from Call of Duty 4. It's an iconic map, should be very small, a lot of fun to play on this one. Then we have our battle maps. So these are taken from Al Mazrah. So we have Mauzwa Marsh. I know I'm saying that wrong, but of course, you know that location, as well as Akhtar Village, again, both from Al Mazrah. Some of the coolest things that we are getting here are actually the gunfight maps. So we have Mercado. This is from Las Almas. I believe this is actually a location on one of the battle maps, but they've just taken the kind of inside of the building. Looks really cool. And then my personal favorite is Penthouse. This map looks absolutely insane. Very, very cool looking. One of the best looking maps I think we've seen so far in the game. As far as playlists go, they added battle map 12v12 search and destroy, as well as prisoner rescue. I don't know why all of these are on battle maps or how that's going to work, but it's interesting. I'll play it, but if it's too big of maps, I don't think this is going to work. And then added to quick play, we have 10v10, third person, infected, gun game, drop zone, and grind. So in other words, those are just going to be in your quick play playlist. You can filter through those. There's not just going to be a main menu screen for those. And then again, we just have some general fixes, changes, things like that to multiple things in multiplayer and bug fixes as well. Nothing too crazy. We of course have the reset for ranked play. So this is specifically for ranked play and multiplayer and ranked play for Warzone. They have the seasonal reset that goes on with these. It is happening in both. I'm not going to go through all of this. If you play rank play, you probably know what's going on with this anyway. And if you don't play rank play, you probably don't care whatsoever. So then we get into specifically Warzone. So those aren't just weapon changes and things like that. This is exactly what's happening to Warzone. So we have their new event, which is Assault on Vondel. Completing a community challenge will unlock the following: the taxi, boat, and trams, the reinforcement flare, the favorite supply box, and the new melee weapon. So unlike other community events where you're just unlocking, for example, a character skin, these are actually going to unlock gameplay elements that are going to change the way the map plays. This is really, really cool. And I think, well, based off of what people think of it, it adds to the game and extends the longevity of people playing this map. So I do think what they're doing here is very cool. We're not going to go too much in depth with the Vondel map as a whole. There's plenty of different locations, as you can see here. It shows some of them here. And then we move into Al Mazrah. So as far as Al Mazrah goes, the sandstorm in Al Mazrah has subsided. However, Al Mazrah City now has several sandbanks to climb up on, which now offers a new creative way, blah, blah, blah. In other words, throughout Al Mazrah City, there are some sandbanks. The storm is done in and of itself, but it changed the location as a whole. Then we have our new modes. So Lockdown. This is on Vondel specifically, and it's inspired by Hardpoint. Essentially, you have a team of 4, you go onto the map, and it works like Hardpoint. You capture the objectives, and you stay in your squad of 4. It's pretty cool. It's a limited time event. Try it out. Let me know what you think. Then we get into the big stuff. This is the biggest thing as a whole that has changed with Season 4. So, player health. This is on all maps and all modes. The base player health pool now has been increased to 150, up from 100. With full armor plates, the combined total will equal 300. So this is extending the time to kill. They did this in Warzone 1 at some point. I don't remember when the exact moment was, but now it is officially happening within Warzone 2, or as they're calling it, Warzone. And this is going to change gameplay drastically and the meta of the game. This is huge. This is very, very big, and it's a big thumbs up in my book. They also made the regen delay slower. So instead of regenerating your health in 5 seconds, it is now 7 seconds, which is a big deal. Armor plates, players now automatically pick up to 9 armor plates. That's good. Armor box, players will now receive a fixed number of 6 armor plates from an armor box. Again, that is good, giving players more armor, less strain having to drop armor, things along those lines. Munition box has been improved as well as vehicle fuel. So again, the big change there, the best change is the 150 health. I'm curious what you guys think, but in my opinion, that is huge. That is going to change the game as a whole. Very, very big. So when we move into Call of Duty Warzone Season 4, first of all, we have the week of June the 14th. We have ranked play, Battle Royale trios. We have Battle Royale solos and quads. We have Vondel Resurgence in solos, duos, trios, and quads. It's good that they're adding all of those in right away. And then of the 21st, we have ranked play trios again, solos and quads for Battle Royale. Vondel Resurgence again. They're keeping Ashika Resurgence in the second week, but only in quads, and then Plunder as well. So Ashika is still around. However, Vondel is taken over. Now, another new feature is Rejoin. Players that experience a client crash on device will be able to reconnect to their match within 4 minutes. This is good. This is something that's been a problem. Basically, what they're saying is we can't fix the crashing, but we can make it so that you can rejoin the game. So that's a big thumbs up in my books. Keep in mind, it's in beta. It's not going to work all of the time, but better as a whole. Adjustments, Gulag kill cam. The kill cam has been enabled in the Gulag. That's good. Easier to see if people are cheating. Pre-match lobby audio. Proximity voice chat has been disabled in the pre-match lobby. It was fun sometimes, but very annoying others. And then the infill sequence. Players are now able to skip the infill sequence animation. That's an interesting one. I'm curious why they did that, if it's for gameplay, if it just runs better. I don't know, but that's interesting as a whole. As far as new things that we have in the map, we have our new vehicle, which is the one that you see here. It's called the TAV, or Tactical Amphibious Vehicle. 1 driver, 1 passenger, and 4 players can be in the back. It's a mid-range armor vehicle. I think we'll see this be used a lot within DMZ. The fact that you can go on water and on land is definitely a good thing, and definitely good on Vondel, as there's a lot of water. Dynamic fog system, so fog goes in the map, changes the area, makes it harder to see, things like that. We have our high stakes public event. Basically, this one you can get things like double weapon XP and player XP for the duration of the game, which is an interesting one. The reinforcement flare, keep in mind that these are coming later on as the community event is complete, I believe. So this field upgrade will redeploy an eliminated squad member that is randomly selected. So in other words, you don't get to pick them. It should be cheaper than just buying someone back, but that is how it works. And then also favorite supply box. Basically, it's a supply box that doesn't give you perks. It just gives you your 2 favorite weapons. Loot adjustments. So in other words, they added the new Season 4 items. Armor box buy station price increased to 2,500 from 2,000. Munitions increased just the same. There's been some looting into backpack inventory changes. They've added some different smoke effects. So if you see red smoke, it's a loadout drop. If you see green smoke, it's a deployable buy station. And if you see gray smoke, it is a smoke grenade. Pretty straightforward. When redeployed drones explode, they now do more damage. That's an interesting one. And then the next big one, these are just quality of life improvements. You can read through them. But gas circle final behavior. The number of moving circles in the final phase of a match has been decreased to 2, down from 4. So this is going to make the end game a little bit faster if people are hiding within the circles. Interesting one. However, these circles collapse and move slower than they did before. In the Gulag, the time to capture the flag has been increased to 4 seconds. They reduced the gas damage down to 6 while not wearing a mask, whereas in the first 4 circles, it is now 5, so it won't deal as much damage. That's an interesting one. So strongholds have now been changed, and inactive strongholds have been renamed to abandoned supply caches. You can go to strongholds the minute a match actually starts. Enemy and NPC combatants have been removed from active strongholds, as well as the bomb diffuser as well. You can also go in and capture the strongholds more than once. However, completing an active stronghold will only reward the black site key upon the first capture. The loadout is awarded when the stronghold is captured and can only be acquired once per squad. However, you can go in with a different squad after, capture the stronghold, and then get your loadout. So strongholds are going to be much more useful than they were before because you can recapture them, and they should be easier as well. These are the changes here that have been made to the resurgence mode. The biggest one is probably the vengeance icon, but they're not too exciting, so you can just kind of read through these if you'd prefer. They also go over Warzone ranked play, which similar to multiplayer ranked play, I'm not going to go over for this video. And then we have DMZ. I'm going to try to go through with this one quickly, but essentially we have our new feature. This is the biggest one. It's a forward operating base. This is where you have upgrades. This is where you can unlock various different things, very different challenges, including urgent missions, which I believe update every single day. We have our new faction, which is called Phalanx. We're having the seasonal reset. So essentially the entire game is reset. If you're going to get into DMZ, this is the best time to do so. And then, of course, we have our adjustments and bug fixes. I didn't go too in depth with that forward operating base just because I don't fully understand it. And I want to go in game and actually experience it. And I should be playing some DMZ more. So whether we have more videos of DMZ on this channel or the second channel, I'm not 100% sure, but you can check it out down in the description if you want to check out my second channel. But essentially, those are all the big changes. The biggest Warzone one is 150 health, a bunch of changes to weapons, a bunch of changes to Season 4 content, and it's a big one. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed, have notifications on. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are